forward to reviewing the details of the proposal. We would expect the next steps would be a full briefing and conversations on a staff level that will continue over the coming days, and an exchange of ideas from there. And then we'd also expect, I would expect, that you should all expect the president to invite members to the White House soon after the joint session address. But we certainly welcome any good faith effort and certainly see this as that. But there are a lot of details to discuss and a lot of exchanges of ideas to happen over the coming days. Go ahead.
Is President Biden going to extend his call for Americans to wear masks beyond 100 days?
You know, Peter, he is working and in discussions with our health and medical experts about what we need to do to get the pandemic under control, including providing clear guidance to the American public.
You're watching a live briefing of the press secretary. I cut into her right away because she said her reaction, or at least the president's reaction, to the counterproposal from the Republicans that came in minutes ago. And I don't particularly think her response to the question was particularly truthful, because it's actually contradicted by other press briefings by the press secretary and the president in recent days. The Republicans just gave a counterproposal to the fourth stimulus package, and the Republicans' counterproposal was already rejected by the president 2 times before. But in the press briefing, which I just cut into, she said, you know, it's good to start with. No, the president actually said he's not starting with this counterproposal, that it was so slow, and it already has signaled the start to do reconciliation. The great news is that despite what she says, which doesn't seem to be very accurate today, you now have the push to get fourth stimulus to the finish line. Economic data was released this morning and midday this morning that showed the economy is not rebounding at a faster rate than we originally thought. That's good. Second, that the Republican counterproposal is actually been summarily rejected by the White House, despite her statement suggesting maybe we're still talking about it. No, the White House already rejected this counterproposal several days ago, and again this yesterday. So with that, we start recon. In this recording, I'm going to go over the big breaking developing details about the fourth stimulus, the SSI reform under fifth stimulus, the big news about student loan debt forgiveness hitting just today, and also what's happening with those business grants and the other money you've been looking for. This is Home LALATE. What a big day it is as we start our midday program here on LALATE. Wall Street reacted to the start of the day with economic news, and the economic news was great for you. Not particularly good for people unemployed, but great for you for stimulus, because it signals stimulus is needed. I'll be going over that in this recording. Then I'll be cutting over to what happened with that counterproposal for the Republicans. It was a slap in the face. The president's already said it's a slap in the face. He already said he's rejecting, he's not asking for a counteroffer to it. So that both signals the push for stimulus. Also, I'll be going over the big developing details about SSI reform. Incredible, great news. I'm so excited for you. And then the other details about what happened with student loan debt forgiveness just a few minutes ago. Big developments. And if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Wow. We approach our 1-year anniversary in just a few days on April 25th. And what a year run it's been. 394,000 subscribers in less than a year. Thank you. Let's get to 400,000 subscribers. Also, 3,000 likes on this video. And you want those PDFs as a member, because there's a lot happening in this video. First, let's get to the 2 major breaking news. Viewers have always asked me, is fourth stimulus going to happen? Those monthly stimulus checks from July to December at least. I said yes, unless 2 events happen. Unless the president gets bipartisan support, or the economy rebounds at a faster rate of rebounding than it currently saw in the month before. Well, today, both events did not happen. Great news. And away we go to reconciliation. First, let's turn to the big exciting news that started the day, the new jobless claims. Now, Unemployment numbers are never good for anyone who's unemployed, but for purposes of stimulus, if jobs are still not restored and people are still unemployed and the growth rate is still not there, then you got to do stimulus. Here's what you need to know. Last week, we dropped 250,000 jobless claims in 1 week from 750 to 570 something. So the concern going into this week was whether we were going to drop another 250,000 in 1 week. So did we? Did we accelerate in the growth, causing concerns for stimulus? Here we go. No, we did not. Incredible, great news. We did not accelerate at a faster growth. So with that, we now see that the new jobless claims released today came in at 547. The previous week was 576. So we did not accelerate at a faster growth rate than originally anticipated. It's all really great news. Now, Wall Street's expecting a higher unemployment number, so it shows that we are not accelerating at a growth rate faster than anticipated. It's a full room, and there's Patricia, and there's Randy, and there's Gail, and there's Shannon, and there's Leanne as well. Let's look at the second number that came in this morning. Continuing unemployment claims. The continuing unemployment claims came in at exactly where it was from the week before. Continuing unemployment claims, new unemployment claims, no change. No change, which means that we're growing, we're recovering, our growth rate is improving, but we're not accelerating in our recovery. We're at the same rate of recovery. Great news for purposes of stimulus, because the concern was by the time the bill gets to a vote in July, the economy will have rebounded too fast. Not going to happen according to today's figures. Let's cut to those stimulus check amounts and see why this growth rate was really a big issue. Those House members, speed was always a big issue because you did not want economic rebounding before they got the stimulus to the door. Here is the money at play. The House members want to give you a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. So if there's 6 more months left to this pandemic, they want to give you about 18 months of checks. Senators want to give you about now to December, about 6 months of checks. Who are the movers and shakers? The House members are progressives. The senators are Democrats, but they also have a lot of standalone Senate bills of other legislative items they want to put by recon. So they are anxious for recon as much as you and I. And then how much does that play? The House members want to pay about $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000. And then the senators, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is they want to pay $2,000 a month, which is about $12,000 between now and December, July and December, 6 months, or $1,400 a month between July and December. This would be the single biggest payout for any individual of this channel. Here's what you need to know. Viewers always ask me, it just seems like a lot of money, LA. I remember what happened in 2020. What happened? It's a different universe. It's a different administration. This administration wants to spend money, and it's anxious to spend money. So don't think that $8,000 is a lot of money for one person, because guess what? In the fall, the president wants to spend upwards of $24,000 for a 17-year-old or newborn. Yes. Under the fifth stimulus package coming in the fall, the president's proposing to extend the child tax credit for 5 more years, so for 6 years. So children 17 to newborn will get $3,600 over 6 years, approximately 4 times 24. 4 times 6, which is $24,000. The president's looking to spend $6 trillion between January and October. This is an astronomical sum of money. So understand, don't be worried about thinking whether the president wants to give you or will veto a House or Senate plan to give you $8,000, because he's ready to spend $24,000 on children per child. Now, it's also important to remember who gets these stimulus checks. Let's go back to these big stimulus check amounts. This is you. So this is if you got a third stimulus check. This is you. If you make less than $75,000 a year, this is you. $150,000 married couple, double the amount. Family of 4, quadruple the amount. Adult dependents, minor dependents, SSI, SSDI, this is you. These amounts are for you. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Incredible, great news. So that was the first big item of big news today for economic situation. The economy is rebounding, but not at a faster growth rate than the month of March, meaning the economy will not be restored when the bill gets to the Senate in July. Viewers have been asking me a series of questions, so let me answer some of those questions right now. When would they get this to a vote? Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi say July 4th. When would the first check go out? In July. What would the check be for? The month of July. How would they send the check? Potentially, they would send the check by the Warren-Harris plan from 2020, where they send you a debit card and then refund or replenish the debit card every month for another payment. This is likely how they would do it. Does this count towards income? It is not income. Does it count towards my benefits? Is it too much cash to hold on hand? No, not at all. And this includes adult dependents and minor children? Yes, it does. Biggest payout you ever seen. So the other economic data that came in today was the housing starts, and that number was bad, but it's not directly on point for purposes of stimulus. It doesn't support or neglect anything for stimulus. But the other thing that did come in today that signals recon is just around the corner was this. The Republican counterproposal. And that's why I cut into what the press secretary was saying. She has been very, I don't know how you say it, inconsistent. I'm being very polite about this. Inconsistent about her remarks with Republican counterproposals. She has said she hasn't seen them. Then she said it doesn't exist. Then she says she doesn't know what their plan is. Then she says we're negotiating on it. Then she says we're not negotiating on it. Here's what you got to take away. The presidents and insiders to the president's negotiations have already said what's going on. The Republicans 4 weeks ago proposed to the president the following. Infrastructure that involves no climate and infrastructure of a smaller amount, $600 to $800 billion, and no tax code change. The president at that time said, no deal. You have to give me climate and you have to give me more infrastructure. Well, the press secretary then said, where is it in writing? All weekend long, the Republicans appeared on broadcast news, said the same thing again. Well, today and yesterday, they put it in writing. And we actually have the writing, which the president has already rejected and says he's not going to negotiate against. And what does the document say? I'm not going to go through the detail of it, but let's just say it's worse than what I've been detailing. It's not even $600 to $800 billion for infrastructure. It's now 500 plus for infrastructure, no climate, and no change to the tax code. Everything the president said he would not do. Away we go to recon. So while the press secretary might want to stand before the podium and say, we're still talking, we're still listening, we're still, just not happening. There's a reason for these optics. And at one point, you need to understand, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. The reconciliation process is a 2-month process, and certainly they do have a few more days. The press secretary has been very careful when she talks about how many more days the president's going to do this chatter. But ultimately, you and I know, they got to get this starting by May. They have to start it because it's a 2-month process to recon. But you want to push stronger than ever before. Meantime, what else is happening today? Well, there is a new report out about student loan debt forgiveness I want to be going over. New details from Elizabeth Warren for the wealth tax that could pay the $2,400. And incredible new details about SSI reform. Boy, I'm going to get to that SSI reform starting right now. You know, when this channel launched and about a year ago and had this many subscribers, 300 subscribers, 400 subscribers, I did a video about SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits and veterans benefits. Understand that when I did that video, it went viral to nearly 3 million views for a channel that literally had no subscribers. The reason was no one was talking to you and talking about your issues until I came around. Now everyone wants to talk about those issues. Well, guess what? After staying on point and covering the subject and covering Elizabeth Warren's promises and covering the president's campaign statements, we have finally made it with incredible, surprisingly great, unexpected, insane news this week. And let's go over the details. A series of many House and Senate Democrats have written an enormous letter to the president where they detail that they are calling for incredible SSI reform under the fifth stimulus package. The fifth stimulus package is in September, and they want that enormous SSI reform. What is it and how does it work? Let me go over all the details. The SSI reform has everything you and I had hoped for. Number one, they want to raise up all your benefits to a new higher amount lifetime. A new higher amount starting at a new date. You'll never be back at that lower number. For purpose of clarity, I'm covering SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans, everyone. You would all be raised up to a brand new big number. Now, you may ask me, what's your particular number? I don't know your particular number, but it would be based upon a percentage. Everyone will be raised up to a much higher number. Then, after that, every December, your benefits are reassessed based currently upon COLA. But while eggs and milk and gas and gasoline go up every year, COLA stays the same. So your benefits stay the same or go up 10 cents a year. Not anymore. They would tie your benefits increase determination every December to inflation. And inflation goes up 1 to 4% per year. So you would know, guaranteed, your benefits would either stay the same, they're never going to go down again, stay the same, or go up 1 to 4% per year. Incredible great news. We're not done there yet. Next, they would remove the assets on hand cap. Currently, you can only hold a certain amount of cash on hand without falling off of benefits. They would remove that. Then, this is the one that I think is very exciting. And viewers have told me in private message, they're ecstatic about this one. It would remove the income cap. Currently, you cannot work over a certain amount of money without falling off of benefits. It would remove that income cap, set a brand new cap that is absolutely much higher. Some talk of about almost $12,000 a year. And then that cap would increase, never decrease, tied to inflation annually. So it could go up to 12 or 14 or 16 or $18,000 in just a few years. And you would still stay on benefits if you want to work. And finally, we remove the marriage penalty. Incredible great news. So you're probably wondering when, how, and how would this happen? This is in September, the fifth stimulus package. The fifth stimulus package in September is called the America Family Plan, the AFP. And it will have to go by recon also, by reconciliation. Again, a 2-month process. So start in September, maybe done by October, November. Your first new check would be at the end of this year, presumably. And then after that, away we go. You would have all these beautiful new checks. Really exciting. Remember, 4 stimulus is where we're talking about now. You would get 4 stimulus. You would get these multiple stimulus checks in addition to these other things. No, one does not cancel out the other. I haven't think I said that. You would get these multiple stimulus checks if you're on SSI under 4 stimulus. And then under 5th stimulus, you would get this reform as well. Guess what? I got more details coming up. Additionally, student loan debt forgiveness. It's a big recording. I'm so excited for you. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. and then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues just after this as we go into noontime coming up next. Afternoons LALATE. You're watching noontime now. Oh boy. Afternoons LALATE is coming up in 2 hours from now. That is going to be a major broadcast, and I'll have big video from the White House in that broadcast. It's part of the continued schedule throughout the day. Easy breezy, a new show every 2 hours. 2 hours after that is a continuation of Afternoons LALATE. And then we go into Evenings LALATE at 8 p.m. That is a big show tonight. There's Edward in the room. There's Sandy and Sherry and Southern Projects as well. And then late night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How are you? It's a big day across the board. I'm really excited for you. And guess what? The press secretary is still live. She has been live for a very long time. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Big updates today about student loan debt forgiveness. Miguel Cardona, your education secretary, was dispatched by the President of the United States a week ago, 3 weeks ago, to do a memo due last Friday. The memo was to detail whether the president can forgive student loan debt by executive order. Obama did it. Trump did it, so why would Biden not do it? Well, the memo has not yet been produced, and people are waiting for that executive order memo. I guess the forgiveness memo has been forgotten. Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer are not happy that that memo is missing. But a new report released today, minutes ago, is quite interesting. It says that 500 members of Congress were asked what their opinion is on $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness. 66 members of Congress responded. So 66 are part of this data. Of the 66, 10 of the 66 said they would not support it. 9 said they would not answer. They're at the casino. 1 said they would support it but would not specify a specific amount. 37 Democrats of the 66 said they would support it. So that's a huge number. 6 said they would support 6 Democrats said they would support a $10,000 number, something lower than $50,000. 27 said they took out student loans themselves, and 5 said they're still paying off their student loan debts. Really interesting. So the takeaway from that is that some members thought that the number of $50,000 is just sort of a blanket number and that it should be tied to some benchmark. They didn't explain what they mean about that. Bottom line is, got to do this by executive order. Of the 500 polled, only 66 responded. Not a good sign. Meantime, what is also happening? The president released a new video from today, and the video from the White House is to urge for Americans to support forced stimulus. Let's listen in and hear the message in this new incredible video about forced stimulus, and I'll give you my opinion after it.
Housing is one of the most important foundations that any family or any person has. 11 million or so people in this country are paying more than 50% of all of their income towards rent. That is not affordable. Affordable means I can live decently and do all the other things that are necessary for me to have a decent life. When COVID first entered our lives, the one thing they said to people was stay home. So if you didn't have a home, you had a problem. Our children were learning virtually. So if they didn't have high-speed internet or broadband, they could not learn. What we have created is a generation of young people who will be forever behind if we don't provide them the tools necessary to get ahead. How we care for each other, that is a caring infrastructure. We take care of our seniors and we take care of our children. That is what we do every day. Those foundations make us who we are. This is still America. This is still the country that leads all other nations. If we don't take the bold steps now, when we have the resources and the opportunity and the will, we will never be a country we believe we are. If you'd like to learn more about the American Jobs Plan, please go to whitehouse.gov/American Jobs Plan.
An interesting video. I love to hear your comments. Drop in your comments right into the live chat right now. I see N.A. and Karen and Ann and Esther and Double C and Bonnie and Peter. Drop your comments what you thought about the video. Here's my opinion for the video. I adore her. I can't stand the editor. If you heard that sound, that was a typewriter. They thought it would be cute to put a typewriter audio sound of someone typing over her voice and then put Real Housewives of Orange County music over that. I could barely hear her, even though I really adore her, and I wanted to hear more from her. So I hope they do another video with her, just without that audio. Not my audio, but that was her. That was theirs at the White House. And they didn't pay the electric bill because there was not much light in there. So that is what the president's rolling out for forced stimulus. Today, the president is actually having a climate conference. And if you join me at the top of this recording, the White House is, they're still live. It's just like, what are they talking about? They have been live. It seems like it's been live for like 5 hours. The press secretary started, there she is in red.
Not just lay out goals, but to take steps to achieve it. And we have a number
Senator
of pathways
John
to
Kerry
get there.
talking about
The president
climate.
has identified the climate.
Let me cut her audio. Talking about climate, and he, if you did not understand that climate is a big part of forced stimulus, today you did. The Republicans' counterproposal again has no climate in there. Their counterproposal is remove climate and not even give even $600 to $800 billion. What I revealed in this recording is that the Republicans came in even lower than that offer. Let's hear what the press secretary has to say.
Sector is going. This is where government is going. These are industries that are going to create jobs in the future, and we certainly have every expectation and hope that future administrations will deliver on the groundwork we do over the next several years. Go ahead, Beth.
Thank you, Jen. I have a couple of questions, if I may. One, on today's the first anniversary of the murder, disappearance of the soldier.
So there you go. Let's circle back to what else is happening today across the board for your stimulus. Money for mortgage assistance, rent, utilities, internet. Let me cover that right now. It's not particularly clear what's going on, but the federal government has not sent out some money from second stimulus to some states, like Florida. So if you reach out to the volunteers and have had problems finding rent and utilities or mortgage assistance in some states like Florida, you're not alone. They know this problem is happening and they're trying to address it. Meantime, the great news is that third stimulus, Biden stimulus money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance is landing in May. If you're having problems finding the public money like that, reach out to the nonprofits that the volunteers can help you with. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities between now and May. Next, the business grants are getting quite interesting. I guess that's the best word to use. Now, remember, the president did not get a business grant into the third stimulus package for new businesses, but he got a lot in there for existing businesses. And so what's happening? The shuttered venue grant, which is not just for venues, is still shuttered. The shuttered venue grant is still shuttered. They're having computer problems. Vortex has hit their own computers, so they're trying to get to that computer problem in shortly. I'll update you as soon as that goes live. At least they've been clear and very transparent about their own computer problems. But they've also been transparent, apparently, to the problems erupting for people who applied in February to do an EIDL grant increase. A lot of you are stuck in a vortex on that. You've seen people reply in March and get their money, apply in April and get their money, but reply in February and you're stuck. Don't worry, they know you're stuck. They're trying to fix the situation. The PPP grant is now live, again, extended by executive order. The reach out to Fundera and Cabbage for things like that. And then finally, the $5,000 grant has not yet gone live. Meantime, what is also really exciting, I see the press secretary is leaving. So tomorrow, I guess today was red. And there we go. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I appreciate it. New range of colors. The interesting thing is Elizabeth Warren is really heating us up with exciting details. Next week, on Tuesday, Elizabeth Warren will have a conference in Congress. What will that conference be? I'll be covering it more on Afternoons LALATE, but it's about the wealth tax bill. And the wealth tax bill is what would have paid and still can pay for $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. You have that letter from her to Leo Cooperman, who has now indicated he's not attending next Tuesday. But it's among several items that are happening. Let me give the big recap if you're just joining me in this broadcast. Today, finally, you got incredible, unexpected, I don't like that expression, but I guess I'm using it. Unexpected great news. It's a YouTube expression. I don't say that walking down the street. Unexpected great news. I just see it everywhere on YouTube. But today it really is unexpected great news. Unexpected great news came in with the details that the economic recovery of this country is not accelerating faster than the month of March. Then in April, we're still accelerating at the same level. Thank you, the Shire, for becoming a Purple Hawk. Everyone welcome the Shire for becoming a Purple Hawk. Number two, we saw that the Republicans do not seek to do bipartisan support for the infrastructure bill. In fact, it was really almost a slap in the face. The president said it was a slap in the face. It's nothing close to what they even proposed just 3 days ago. The president wants $2 trillion. They came in at $500 billion. They removed completely climate, and that they don't even give his amount for infrastructure, and they even came in lower on infrastructure than they were even proposing over the last 4 weeks. It's at $500 billion approximately now. So it's just, while the president's press secretary may be talking about circle back and range of ideas and talk and chat and talk and chat, it's recon. It's recon, people. 2 months to recon, 2 months to get it done. The vote would be July 4th, says Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi, no later. Stimulus checks would go out in July. Stimulus checks would start for the month of July. You want this to happen. This is for SSI and SSDI, $75,000 or less single individual, includes all of you. And then in September, we go right into fifth stimulus with that incredible, incredible SSI reform. The big reform that would pay you more in benefits permanently and give you incredible new relief for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits of veterans. I'll be back with you on Afternoons LA, which is the next live broadcast. So bring your questions if you have questions about the SSI reform or any other questions about what's transpired today. And the day is still young. There's a lot more that could still happen. Meantime, tomorrow, American Express reports corporate earnings, and you know that is going to be a big indicator of where this economy is going. Chipotle reported earlier today, and it showed that that online sales have now overtaken in-store sales. Very interesting. With that, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. We have a big programming schedule coming up later today, and I hope you stay with me across the board. Those shows start in 2 hours from now at Afternoons LALATE, starting at 4 p.m. Join me at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Afternoons next. I see Roberto, Chef Roberto, and Sandy, and Colleen, and Jenny, and Susie, and Shirley, and Art. Then we go into Afternoons LA at 6 p.m., followed by Evenings LA and LA Late Night. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, stay positive. Tell people to join, become a member, and at least subscribe. This is LALATE.